Hello. Okay, I think I'm back on, everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Charlie. I do not want to be here. By all accounts, I shouldn't be here. Oh, hey now. So, pretty much, I don't believe in podcasts. It makes sense. I know some of you guys love Well, excuse me, everybody. It's been a long day. You know what it was? I had an electrolyte because I noticed I was dehydrated and I was at a convenience store. I was buying some gas and I was thirsty. And normally I'll just get water, right? But I saw they had an electrolyte, a Pedialyte, one of those things that was flavored watermelon lime. Watermelon lime. You know how good that sounds to me? It sounds wonderful. So, of course, I said, hell yeah, get me some watermelon lime electro Pedialyte. And I drank it and it was delicious and my thirst was quenched. And it got me thinking, you know where that wouldn't exist? In Russia, because they're communism. And in communist countries, you don't get choices. You don't get a decision. There's no free market. That's their complaint about Western society. Their complaint about America. We got too many options. And yes, I feel it all the time. I get stressed out when I go grocery shopping and I'm scanning the ingredients of peanut butter. I'm just looking at the different peanut butter, which one you have to stir, which one's chunky, which one's crunchy, which one's smooth, which one already got jelly in it, which one's made with high fructose corn syrup, which one's made with... Oh man, there's a lot, and I get it. It can be hard. It can be difficult to have so many fucking cool options. There's room for everybody in this society, in this world. There's room. And that's how we got watermelon lime electrolyte. Beautiful flavor. Have you ever had grape? So good. Sometimes they have mixed berry, and guess what? That's not as good as grape. And you know what? I bet they don't have grape flavored fucking water in Russia. They probably only have mixed berry flavor. And I attest to that. And then you're all forced to get it. You don't get no option. You don't get no watermelon. You don't get no grape. You only get mixed berry. That's what communism is. And guys, since November, whatever the fuck the election was, 5th, we're now officially West Russia. We're officially West Russia, and I'm in here. And I'm starting to get the Trump Russian bug, too. I'm starting not to give a fuck. I'm feeling like that. Okay, so I'm doing a podcast. Nobody knows I'm doing it except for one guy. I should let him know. But I'm trying to be more. I'm doing it live stream. I'm not used to live stream. There's a whole bunch of stuff. If I do any kind of show, I want it to be good. And it's hard for me to sit in a car or while I'm working and just hear people talk. It has to be something I'm really interested in. And that's what's so annoying about podcasts. Everybody has a podcast. Is this mic on? Everybody has one, but they forget the one most important thing. They forget they have nothing to say. That's why when I listen to podcasts, it's something I want to hear someone say. It's just nothing. I don't want to hear anybody say anything. That's why I don't listen to podcasts. I watch those fucking cool cop videos where they just arrest cops and drunk chicks. It's cathartic. It's cathartic to me. And so now I know I do have something to say. That's why I have a podcast. I actually, unlike everybody else who has a podcast in this country, I have something legitimate and really worthwhile and valuable, something for you ought to listen to. You ought to hear. I got something to tell you. You guys are fucking idiots. You're morons. You made us West Russia. And now I'm here. Check this out.
He hasn't figured it out. Like Jerry Seinfeld or Chris Stern's calling you a loser.
Yeah, right here.
He goes, and by the way, everyone who has a podcast, Howard Stern's calling you a loser. Yeah, I stand by that. It's exactly what I'm doing.
I agree with that, and I got a podcast. The most loserish thing I do in my life is today I was playing drums, having a cool time. I was playing drums, and then I went to a rehearsal and got paid to go rehearse and play music, and we got a show. And I got a show coming up. That's what I did. That's what I spend my time doing, my life doing, and I can do it. I've been able to do it. The only times I haven't been able to do it is when Trump's fucking it up, which is about to happen. Now, normally after that rehearsal, I'll go back to the studio and play even more, learn some more tunes, listen to some more music. But no, I can't do that because I can't do it and feel sound. Because last time I left you guys alone when life was fucking awesome, you guys blew it. So now instead of doing that, I'm going in the opposite direction of my house. I'm going in the opposite direction to Kenny's. I came over here to make a podcast.
A loser.
Yes.
He goes, and by the way, everyone who has a podcast, Howard Stern's calling you a loser.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I stand by that.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
That's exactly what I'm doing too. Being a loser by coming here. I knew parking was bad. I had to park almost a mile away just because of the neighborhood I'm in. It's Los Angeles, in Echo Park. Almost a mile. There's a police chopper hovering above. That, you know how bad of a feeling that is? When you're in a neighborhood in LA and there's a police helicopter at 12 at midnight, just circling, hovering above you. And by the way, before I parked, I did go by a bunch of cop cars rolling out, a bunch of black and whites, sirens on, wee woo, whatever their siren is, and just wheeling off. And then where I park, I see the helicopters hovering above me, and I got my laptop, bring my laptop so I can do this show, this podcast, and I put it under my poncho. But that's what I'm doing. When I could be playing drums, but I can't because I don't trust y'all enough. Whoa, that was a bad one. That was a watermelon delight. I had some cornbread too with jalapeno and cheese. It's delicious. You know where they don't have cornbread with jalapeno and cheese? In West Russia. Well, actually they do have in West Russia because that's us. But in real Russia, what we're aspiring to be right now, where there's no gays, there's no immigrants. They don't have everything you guys want America to look like. It already looks like that in Russia. They're locking up all the gay people. You're not allowed to cut off your penis if you want to. You're not allowed to do anything cool. You're not. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to enjoy the liberty while I got it. I'm going to chop off my penis. I'm going to get me a cunt. Because that way, I can finger it. There's nothing gay about fingering pussy all day. So that's what I'll do. Fuck you guys. Fuck you, America. Turn us into West Russia. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that, guys. I just get so mad sometimes and I'm so worked up. I'm not going to take off my Johnson. I need it to fuck your mother. So I'm here, being all loserish now, sitting in front of a computer, and you guys don't believe me, but it's talking to a wall. And you know when they say, and because that's what America is, man. America is a wall. You're as dense as one. You know when they say it's like I'm talking to a wall? That's what it's like when I talk to you, America, because that's the only way you listen, is if you make me sit in a room, and this is practically a jail cell. I can't even listen to music without the show busting down because of copyright on YouTube, which is fine, I get it, but just it goes to show you that this is nonsense, that this is the only way you get your opinions and your source and your information. I'm a drummer. I shouldn't have to do this, but I am. America, am I streaming? Better be streaming. I'm getting angry and worked up. I wasn't streaming. If I was doing all this for free, man, I'm doing this for free. You know, I teach. So for those that don't know, I'm a professional musician out of Los Angeles. This studio is courtesy of Camp Water Tower, who, if you don't know, they For example, they got hired to play Katy Perry's Private Party. This is happening right now. You got a drummer so worked up in Los Angeles. He's going down to do a podcast. Because I'm the only one that can talk to you guys. I'm the wall whisperer. Knock, knock. Anybody home? That's me right now. I can talk to you. Because I'm a dummy, and this is the thing that you guys don't get. I'm not trying to convince you of why Joe Biden's the best. What I'm trying to convince you guys, so don't come at me with your Trump arguments like, oh, gay people. Oh, inflation. Don't come at me like that, because that's not my argument. I don't read enough to support anything like that. But my argument is that you're an idiot and you're dumb and you should know better than to listen to yourself. My argument is that you should find someone smart to listen to. That's my argument. Tell me I'm wrong on that. Don't tell me I'm wrong when it comes to policy or inflation or that you guys want to be a bunch of bitches and give up Ukraine. Give up the world. Give up being top dog, king of the hill. Give up the American dream for some communist bullshit, West Russian Trumpism, some fascists. You're communist and fascist morphed and molded into one. It's ludicrous. It's not cool. None of the real ones were with you. Who did Trump get? Hulk Hogan? Dude, that would have been cool, like, what, in the 80s? Get in the now. Just got a bunch of cokeheads. We got the real ones. We got fucking LeBron James. We got Eminem. We got Jack White. You guys got nothing. We got Joe Biden. We got George Washington. We got everyone you would want to be around. But no, America chose Jeffrey Epstein. You know Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, right? That's why Trump had Jeffrey Epstein killed. It was Trump's prison, no? Wow. Trump let Jeffrey Epstein die? I wonder why. Look, I'm not that smart either, but I think you get my drift. We might not be the smartest bunch in America, but we're most of America. So let's figure it out together. Together. Sorry, I'm trying to speak communism to you. Together. It's the only way. Fuck it. Is America worth saving? Okay. Let me make sure this is working. I'm going to go to a call right now. I'm fiddling with my phone. Yes, I'm learning how to do all this fucking bullshit for you, America. I'm doing this for free. Like I said, I'm a musician. I'm not even going towards my hourly rate. You guys get this for free, and don't worry about it. Critique. Okay.
Yo.
Hey, Ethan, you're on Red, White, and Chill.
What's up?
Not much, man. I just got done berating America, man. I'm so ticked off that I'm here right now.
Why is that?
Why is that? Why? Okay, so we're musicians, right? We play music and jam and have a good time.
Yeah.
Do we sit in a room with nobody around with a bright light on you and cameras and microphones and just talk to the ether? Is that what we like to do?
Yeah. Is it what we like to do, or is it what we're being asked to do?
You tell me, which one is it?
Well, do you do it because you like to, or do you do it because you feel like this is how you're going to communicate? Like,
because we can't talk about politics when we're jamming, right? Because there actually are a lot of Trumpers in the music world.
That's true, yeah.
Trumpers everywhere.
That's true, yeah. But even if there weren't, you still really wouldn't want to talk about politics while you're making music. Like,
yeah,
some of the most like anti-spiritual thing. And I just think we're so fucking inundated with ads all the time that I kind of am used to dismissing what other people say about politics. And I get that, like, that's not the answer. Like, we gotta, like, be able to communicate about politics. But I think just much like media literacy, where you have to sort out like what's a credible source and what's bullshit. You can do that with people too, and like it's kind of exhausting to have to do that. But that's just the world we live in. Like we're all so plugged in.
Well, you can do it, but I'm not convinced that most Americans can.
No, I think most Americans evidently can't, right? Because like the majority aren't voting, and then within the ones that vote, clearly there's like a good freaking amount of people who don't even have a clue, and then even within that, there's not a whole lot of people who get it.
So what am I doing here? I'm just trying to. I got a burp, man. I went on a rant about how I had on the way here. I had a watermelon lime like electrolyte thing.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, they don't have any of those in Russia. They don't have that in Iran. They don't.
Maybe.
No, they don't. I was there, man. Okay. We barely have it in America. If you even dare suggest, well, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to get worked up over watermelon right now. But so, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss. I'm ready. I'm ready to get off. Go. I'm saying, is America really worth saving?
That's a tough question, right? Like, if you is Godzilla worth saving?
You mean like the city or Godzilla the monster?
Godzilla the monster.
Why are you calling America Godzilla?
Kinda, yeah.
What do you mean, dude?
Like,
that's so not.
Like if Godzilla does a lot of collateral damage and has also inadvertently done a lot of good. It's just this like giant variable that sort of like is capable of trampling on people and saving people, just depending on where you're standing.
Wait, I only know the Lilo and Stitch version where Stitch acts as Godzilla and destroys everything.
Yeah, I think by and large, Godzilla does that. I think that, well, we should calibrate what we're talking about a little more, because like American culture is not in a good place, but America as an entity isn't going anywhere. So whether we save it or not, it doesn't really need saving. Like it's there whether we like it or not. It's just something that we have to deal with, and we have to decide how to deal with it.
Okay, but I'm saying that
it's bigger than us.
Yeah, but the thing is, we are representative of America, and America represents us. So when we go to other countries, that we are American. And
well, you know the term.
What?
You know the term Overton window?
Over what? Over tinted?
Overton?
No.
Okay, so the Overton window is basically like the spectrum of what's tolerable in your society. So like the N-word is like completely outside of our tolerable political discourse. But you could inch society into a direction where it would eventually become tolerated by, it starts with denigrating woke stuff, and then, it just like it goes one step at a time. So another example would be like if you had a political candidate that says that we should ban all Muslims from the country, even though he may not be able to accomplish that, what he's done is like shifted over towards his direction what would be perceived as okay. When he says, "Oh, they're eating the cats and dogs," these immigrants, some people go, "Hey, that's outside of the Overton window." But if enough people say, "Hey, I'm going to give that a pass," it becomes normalized. And then as things become normalized, then the Overton window shifts around to wherever that is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's you're putting words to a lot of thoughts.
It's just basically like you can change what's acceptable in society inch by inch for better or worse, and that's the goal.
Well, so you could say that so we had a show with Giselle. I posted her. She's a singer. We performed at Whiskey A Go-Go a bunch of times together.
Yeah.
And so she came on and gave a very compelling argument to retire the R word. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
and I'm with it too. And so now I can proudly say that I think Americans have an underdeveloped frontal lobe. And we need
Well, yeah.
You disagree with that?
Um, I mean, you're not being literal, right? Like,
No, I'm using it as an expression.
so I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what I think that's the point of this is finding some way where before I liked using the R word because it was used on me a bunch as a kid, which Giselle was like, oh, hey, you need to examine that, which I'm like, okay. Like
Yeah.
I concede it where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm repulsed by the right, so I'm gonna take, what do you call it, that Overton window?
Yeah, you want to take that into your own hands a little more.
Yeah, I want to bring it back. I'm okay. Like, it's fun when you're the only one doing it, but the rest of society is like, hey, you should stop. That is fun. But when the majority is being the bully, it's no fun. Then it's just we're all being a bunch of bullies.
Yeah, it depends on what side of it you're on. I just think that like it's just stimulating, man, to engage in anything. Like the media dictates what we talk about, and then we take different positions on it, and then we get offended at each other. And people who take like sadistic views aren't above being offended by things, even though they like to claim that they are. Like, I really think that if you took every liberal off of Twitter tomorrow and they all went to Blue Sky, Twitter would collapse because there'd be nobody to argue with for the right wingers who like to troll like that. And even like there's a healthy enough ecosystem for the left to be independent, but the right is completely dependent on trolling the left.
Oh man, I figured out how to troll the right. I've got the secret sauce.
Yeah, I think we're capable of trolling each other and the right, and like we could make enough entertainment by arguing amongst each other because we're capable of getting into nuance. We're not just like searching for like buzzwords as a party, as a Democrat. But like, here's where we may disagree: is I don't consider myself a Democrat anymore after this election, and I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Biden. But
you just don't understand him.
He's just misunderstood.
He's so misunderstood.
I think he's the most tragic figure in American politics. Like, because every time I read about like what he says behind closed doors, I think to myself, yeah, that's literally exactly what I would say if I was in that situation. At the same time, though, like, I'm not the president of the United States in the year 2024. Like, and that makes a big difference. Like, it's one thing to look to the guy to your right and be like, this guy is a piece of shit about like whoever his adversary is. It's another thing, you got to judge him on what he does about that, though. And like, I think that it's funny. A lot of people criticize him on foreign policy. I think that's absolutely his strongest area.
He's the best he kicks ass around the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that the Assad regime would have been toppled if you didn't have someone like Joe Biden in office. And I don't think
Ukraine would already be taken.
Yeah, Ukraine would be taken, and I think that
and if
a Republican was in office, that the genocide situation in Israel would be 10 times worse and accelerated and moving on. Rather, like, if Trump was, and also it's important to consider, like, who is the leader of this group that just deposed Bashar al-Assad? He seems pretty freaking tolerant and moderate. Even though he has a history of being involved with terror cells, he's denounced them and said that he wants to lead a nation of like, multiculturalism and tolerance. And I was like, hey, this dude's inspiring and he's smart. But the thing is, like, there's no way that, like, I don't know, he just showed up out of nowhere. Like, I really feel like the United States had a big hand. And, Biden is just really, he's fighting all these secret wars. Like, the Cold War, like, never really ended. And there's different philosophies on how to end it. And Trump is of the philosophy that the best way to end it is to become friends. Yeah, you just become allies, and you pretend like your priorities are the same as your enemy, and he gets to skate by on his incentives and not worry about what it means for the country. He's a false nationalist.
is trying to sell out the country and make it seem like it's a nationalist endeavor. And then it's interesting because I feel that Democrats are true nationalists, and we need some sort of other thing going on. I feel like people should really listen to Chomsky and listen to what he's saying about how the United States, just like China, just like Russia, responds to burgeoning liberal communities across the world. It's usually by viewing it as a threat to the overarching status quo of people who live like Trump and Elon Musk, etc. And then when that happens, they act on it without fail. And we've been under the illusion that that's not the case. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about what Trump has done is he's just so transparently a piece of shit. And so is Elon Musk. And the internet helps with that, and culture helps with that. They don't get to hide behind these notions of decorum anymore, because that's one of the byproducts of the Overton window having shifted further towards idiocracy rather than civilized democracy, is that these people have dropped any pretense of civility. And so we can see exactly what's going on, which is that there's a big club, and if you've got more than $100 million, they'll start throwing drugs, women, and parties at you until you get involved with these people, and they'll incentivize you with these financial assets. And if they can't do that, they'll figure out what your advice is. And so you've got lots of people in the Trump administration. If they didn't donate more than $100 million, they probably raped somebody. That's how the mob works. They find compromised people and they ask them to do things because they know that if they don't do the thing, that there's sort of a kill switch underneath. And that's how politics operates on a macro level. And there's only one real answer to that. And
Joe Biden.
No. Because what's Joe Biden doing to change the paradigm of the United States? He's absolutely a status quo candidate. He represents marginalized incremental change. But then when push comes to shove on a macro issue, it's usually the conservative side of things that gets special treatment.
Well, wait.
He's pandering to people who would never vote for him.
Wait, but hold on real quick, though. Hasn't Joe Biden been maybe the most progressive president since FDR?
But isn't that... No, I would say no. I would say LBJ has him beat there. And...
I need an unread, white, and chill soundbite.
Yeah, we need... I would say JFK and LBJ.
JFK got shot right away. He didn't even do shit.
But if you consider what they were standing for relative to where the Overton window of their time was, they were much more progressive.
Okay, maybe on that in this, I guess, a spirituality sense. But everything Joe Biden says is just pure definition of America. He's almost like a poet.
Yeah, I definitely admire his character in a lot of ways. But I think that here's the reason why I'm so disaffected with Democrats. And it's because when Citizens United was repealed, they weren't sounding all the alarms in the building. And Citizens United, for people who don't know, is a Supreme Court ruling that basically removed the campaign finance donation limit. So usually you had to bundle up donations that couldn't be more than $2,000 a person. And so what you ended up having was a more liberal environment because it was based on the needs of the majority. Just because if a candidate like Obama in 2008 is going to run, he's going to need to appeal. He's going to need to cast a wide net. And so is somebody like John McCain. So people go, oh, I missed the era of decency in politics. It was only as decent as it needed to be, for it to function. And in that era, things were functioning largely through advertising, which would influence legions of small donors to create a new hero like Obama, right? And when Obama was president, the demand was for him to basically break up the big banks, punish the people who caused the Great Recession, punish the war criminals who threw us into war in Iraq in a reactive way,
and he did none of those things. He sort of just like played the middle. And then when he was in power, the Supreme Court repealed this decision called Citizens United that we were just talking about. And I feel like that represented a fundamental threat to the security of the nation. But he had multiple fundamental threats to the security of the nation to manage at the same time. So what he did was he didn't break up the banks and he bailed them out. And then he continued the wars in the Middle East because he felt that pulling out would create too large of a power vacuum. And then he focused on the Affordable Care Act because he felt that he only had so much political capital to spend. And he spent it on that. And I think that saved millions of lives. But it's not, when you think about it on a macro level, he was very much gambling on the fact that Democrats would like continue to win on the merits. And if you have a system where like somebody like Elon Musk can come in and brainwash states full of people by purchasing a social media apparatus and algorithmically pumping misinformation to them, it doesn't really matter. Like if you have more money than your opponent, if somebody can afford to spend $400 million on convincing people who already believe something to continue believing something, it will be more effective than spending $1.5 billion trying to convince people that they've been fooled. That's much harder to do. Evidently more than 3 times harder. So I guess my point is that Democrats had more campaign finance money coming in, and they thought they would win, is what I think. And so when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, Obama nominated somebody that he thought would appease both sides of the aisle and was doing like this, like a statesmanly duty. Because I don't think he really understood like the weight and pressure of fascism that was bearing down on the country while he was in office. Like, and I feel that he should have, instead of creating computer systems that collect the metadata of every person in the country, he should have been focused on the fact that there was an infrastructure that was pumping misinformation algorithmically to people through social media and prioritizing that as a national security issue.
So,
and he failed to move the Overton window, and you know, you can claim that it's because he was black or whatever, but
yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, that's
Biden is very much a continuation of that style of governance.
Hey, Biden kicked ass, man.
Just to conclude this rant, though, what happens when you pursue a style of governance that isn't shifting the Overton window in any radical direction, and while they're in office, political avenues are closing, inflation's going up, wages are stagnating, people don't have money, but they also don't have a way to change the environment that's making them not have money? What do you think their reaction is going to be? They're going to vote for somebody like Trump.
Not red, white, and chill?
I'm trying to pull you further towards like the democratic socialist camp of things and recognize.
Is that what's going on right now?
That's what's happening.
Because all I see is this world ain't red, white, and chill right now. And I just think, I don't know. I think, life is hard. And for me, I remember when I was a kid and I saw that the world was coming crashing down. So I'm not fazed by any of this. Like, when did I ever have money? During Trump? No, I'm actually getting paid. I was doing the same things under Biden. I was doing the same jobs under Trump. And yeah, things were cheaper, but I was getting paid nothing.
Yeah. And I feel like as a citizen in that situation, you kind of need a national mission to cling on to. And Trump is presenting one. And I didn't see Biden. It's just
blow up
really
our country.
One.
His thing is blow up our country in the disguise of patriotism, where really it's West Russian.
Yeah, and we're heading towards an oligarchical system, and the Democrats are allowing it to inch, and the Republicans are turning it into a fucking slip and slide, making sure that that's exactly what happens. We turn into a theocratic oligarchy where rich people get things and poor people don't.
So that's why I'm here right now and not drumming, doing what I love.
Yeah. I agree with you. I should be practicing for my gig on Saturday too. But the thing is, like, we care about these things and we need to exercise this part of our minds, and we need to be able to share these ideas with the public, because I think the public needs to hear this type of dialogue happening, because I think the majority of people are in the situation that you're in, where it's just like, I understand what's going on to a decent extent,
I can see these guys are repugnant and that these guys are doing their best. What is it about this that's broken? And my answer to that is that oligarchs have too much control over advertising, and advertising has an absolute control over people's behavior. So you have to address Citizens United, and the only person who's talking about that is Bernie Sanders. Not Biden, not Obama, Bernie.
Dude, I went to Bernie's rallies. I volunteered for him. You don't need to sell me on him. The reason why I was upset when Joe Biden won the primary, when everybody consolidated and gathered around him. But you know when I liked Joe Biden the first time? Because I started noticing that the moment he defeated Bernie Sanders, he took Bernie aside and said, "Hey, Bernie Sanders, you got defeated, but a lot of people like you. So tell me your policies, and I'm going to try to adopt it the best to my ability." And then lo and behold, he would do a speech. And right in there, I was at Bernie rallies. In the middle of every Biden speech, there'd be shout outs to Bernie, just straight from Bernie's monologue. And that's when I was like, what a good fucking leader. He beat me. I was sad, but then he included me. And that is why Joe Biden is red, white, and chill. I need a red, white, and chill button.
I'll give you that.
He's the greatest. Like, that's what's so great about it, because everybody's comparing their leader as if it's going to be a messiah, as if we have Jesus Christ running. But in reality, it's not even Homo sapiens. You know what it is? It's a bunch of Homo erectus. You know what a Homo erectus is?
An erect person?
No, a Homo erectus is a precursor to Homo sapien. And
I know, I was kidding.
Yeah. Well, it took me a while because my computer's slow, because, I'm the best. I have to be the greatest podcaster. I just know I am. I'm just learning how to work the computer. And what I mean, for people hear me say this all the time. And what I mean by that is the moment that I said Homo erectus, I wanted to play something like this.
That they were a species of Homo.
Or this.
This was Homo erectus.
But I don't know how to work the computer right, so it was going too slow. I couldn't find the buttons, but I'm telling you, I've got it. I just need to learn how to work this shit, and I'm only doing it because of what you're saying, because the oligarchs are taking us, and they're using fascism to make us give our power up, and now it's stopping us from playing our instruments and having a blast and doing what's a celebration of life and culture and community and world power of being Americans and being the baddest in the world, being the greatest, being the most kick-ass.
Well, you and I make music together, and I feel like for me, it's not really this socio-political environment. I don't feel super stagnated artistically by it. I feel like it's opening up the necessity for music, that like words can be weapons very often, and so much of like our discourse has been deliberately 1984. Like the word woke was once really useful, and they've made sure that we can't use that word anymore, and that it means something that it doesn't, and it's now a Rorschach test. Like, that's 10 different people what they think woke means, and they'll say something else, and that's a testament to the power of conservative advertising reach. But anyway, I guess my point is, like,
well,
music can speak a language that's just about like getting out into the world and having experience and connecting with other people. And I truly feel that the more people do that, the more they'll feel inclined to care about other people. And that's the bottom. That has to be the primary motivator, because otherwise all you're left with is money.
And now back to the Homo erectus.
So I have to say, I am flattered, because I notice this. You're giving up your time to go on this call in and give your point of views, because you're concerned about it as well. And just the opposite, there's a bunch of people that refuse to call in because they're too nervous or shy, or they just don't want to be outed for anything and have their name on display. So this is coming around that I am flattered that everybody thinks this show has so much weight. Is this?
Yeah, I think that it's just like is a good idea, and you're coming at it from the right direction. A lot of people come in and they go, "Oh, I'm the expert," like, but you're coming in and you're just like having conversations with people, and I like that the idea is for people to just talk, and if somebody were to listen to your show on a continuous basis, I feel like they can use you as a way to sort of like filter out, like you're media literate enough to understand what questions you should be asking. And that's the biggest service you can fucking provide. You don't need to be an expert on like fucking democratic socialist policy or like the history of anything. Like you just need to be able to ask the right questions. And you have enough political experience and enough personality to do that in an engaging way. So I believe in you, and we make music together too. And I support you wholeheartedly, man. Like I think that people should trust you and invest their interest and time a little bit, and just see what happens with you, because we need to be a little chiller.
I'm a good sugar baby. I'm very like go with the flow type of little baby. I'm a good
exactly.
Yeah.
I can go.
Whoa. What was that? Was that you?
With the flow. Yeah, it was me.
What was that? You're singing for us? Okay. Well, what was I even going to get to next? I had a bunch of things, but yeah, I see that. So Red, White, Chill is going to be the way. I dare say Red, White, and Chill is going to be what champions Elon Musk on the Twitter world. Do you notice that? I start using that on my Instagram. I say, hey, Twitter world, it's yours truly.
I like that you still call it Twitter world. It may be X.com, but it's still Twitter world.
No, I don't get it. I've wanted to get a Twitter many times, but the fact that it's Elon Musk makes it too fucking slimy.
Yep.
So I was even wondering this. I might have told you about it in just privately in text, but here, let me see if you've heard this, if you recognize it.
Do you know anything about buying cars or talking to car salesmen?
Have I showed you this before?
I don't think so.
So this is what I'm thinking. This is my master plan. I got 3 prongs right now. One, so I'm making this. I'm figuring out how to work everything. As we all know, I still need to get a camera, and right now I'm the only one super invested in saving this goddamn country. I had a whole rant. I'm pretty much like Aragorn. I'm like I don't want to say it. I already said it, but fuck it. I'm the American Jesus, man. I'm American and I look like Jesus, and I'm sacrificing my perfectly good life. I'm sacrificing it to go to hell, to be in jail in a room, staring at a wall and talking to it. For whatever reason, somehow people are going to find it and listen to it. And like you said, get a little bit more media literacy and start actually developing that frontal lobe.
Yep.
But so one of my plans is, I heard this, and I'm just going to play it, and then we can talk more about it.
When you look at a car salesman, what are the reputations that they have? Like, how do people view them, like, morally?
Easy.
Yeah.
They'll say anything.
Yeah.
Surface level charm, snake oil salesman.
Absolutely. When you watch a car salesman interact with a customer, what do they look like? They don't come off as sleazy. They come off as honest. They try to come off as honest,
Correct.
personable,
Correct.
funny, understanding, caring, right? If I were to go to a Honda dealership and I wanted to buy a car, would I trust that salesman to tell me the pros and cons accurately of having a Honda? Probably not, right? So we agree we probably don't trust the Honda salesman to give us the best drawbacks of the Honda cars, right? Now, the level one idiot would tell you, well, he's a salesman, he knows everything. He's going to give us the pros and cons, right?
So you haven't heard this before?
No.
Okay, well, we already kind of talked about the other stuff, and I played this before, so I'm going to go to the part that pertains to me.
Is exhilarating. This car makes you feel. What is a Carfax?
They pretty much go that the 2 political parties are opposing car dealerships, and that's why nobody knows who to trust. And what we need is a Carfax.
In societies, we need something like a Carfax. And like, what does a Carfax do? When you're reading a Carfax, is it going to be telling you like, this car is exhilarating. This car makes you feel full of life. This car makes you feel like a real American hero. What's on a Carfax?
It's like miles and all
It's
that.
autistic, boring, in the weeds, discreet. Like, here's the VIN, motorcycle accident, 2017, repair shop, oil changes. Like, oh my God, who cares? But we like Carfax because they are accurate and they have a history, a record of accountability. Go ahead.
That's not what sells cars. It's the salesman telling you it'll make you thrilling and it'll make you cool and it'll get you women.
Yeah. So the issue is what has to happen is in a world right now where the Carfax is really fucking boring, what I need, what I want, what I would want to be, or I would have a media company doing, whatever, I don't know, that's what I'm trying is I need a really entertaining, funny person to be the guy that's selling the Carfax. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want somebody to do or be, and I don't see that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that, those things exist. Like there's politifact.com, factcheck.org, whatever.
But those aren't. I'm telling you right now, that's me. He just said, Charlie, I need you right now. I see how you lock yourself in a room and you just stare at a bookshelf and then you yell into a microphone, and I need you to do that because this guy reads. I know people pick on him all the time because of his like sexual shit. Apparently he's like a swingner or something. Or the guy Destiny, but he reads all the actual legal shit, so he's actually really smart and he's aggressive and quick on his feet. And I'm part of my goal, man, get to the level where I can get myself in his vision, even if that means going on his subscription shit and then pitching myself and auditioning on there with a bit or something. But I got that. That's one route I'm thinking about. And then, but by that time, I'll have all the buttons like red, white, chill, and I'll have other people that can actually like commit a little bit more for whatever bit I want to do. But there's that. Then I have ways maybe of getting on Howard Stern because people don't believe me. I tell them I call in the Howard Stern show and they don't believe me. Yet I don't know why I would lie about that. Howard doesn't say anything nice about me.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that though.
Oh man, it's you didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. That's awesome.
I mean, I've been playing this all the time, but
The funny musings of Charlie from California. The least funny human being
Get out of here.
on the planet.
Wow, that's
If you like titties.
oh man, still working it. Yeah, dude, that's yeah, dude. So I don't know why I'd lie about that, other than it is fucking cool. I got 3 calls with him, and I haven't called in a while because I got nothing to say. Last time I called him was when I was thinking about going to Turkey, Istanbul. To say, do you know about that? How I went to Turkey?
Yeah, that I know about.
Okay, yeah. But I'll play that call later when I can't get anybody on the phone.
That's hilarious.
And
I mean, I do. I love Howard Stern. I think that's a stand-up individual. But going back to the previous point about cars, like cars you can't politicize a Honda. You can plug it into a speedometer and you can check pressure on the tires, and there's ways to like verify the information about what the Honda is and is not capable of in a very clear-cut way. But a lot of that is thanks to the boundaries that the government has provided. But when it comes to
I'm talking about things like people don't even realize that everything that made their life better in the last 4 years since Trump just tanked everything. Because you got to remember the reason why everything's so bad right now that they complain about is because of Trump. Because he doesn't know how to run government, which we're about to go back to.
It's not just because of Trump. I mean, he's a symptom of the problem. Like I was saying before, it's like,
dude, fuck Trump. I'm not here to argue that kind of bullshit. I'm here to say
I'm not advocating for Trump. I'm just saying like there's a certain type of system that becomes ready for Trump.
Okay,
and that's the type of system
I'm not saying that.
up.
What I'm saying though is everything that made life better. Like for example, all the new paved streets, all the new EV charging stations, the train station that was starting to get constructed between Las Vegas and Los Angeles that Trump's threatening to just stop, to just withdraw the funding. Like all these things that Biden did and is doing to make our lives better, he doesn't put his name on it. So what I'm talking, what I took from that is open people's eyes that all these things were part of this bill or because of this or that. But it's
Yeah,
not
for sure.
entertaining, and it's become cool to hate on him and to love the guy that wants to fuck us in the ass.
Yeah.
And that's what I see about, like, I understand it's not a car where it's not so black and white, like here's all the deep, fine details. I understand it's actual people, and so a lot of subjectiveness. But
style is a huge component of leadership. Like, it's great that he's doing those things, but the fact that he's not putting his name on it, what is that worth if you lose afterwards?
Well, so that's what I'm saying, man. And this is my campaign promise. I already broke the news to my mom on my last show.
Yeah.
Is that I'm going to be running when I get the show up and running, America. I'm there for you. I am running for office. I am running for president with one campaign promise only, and that is to use my presidential immunity to force Joe Biden to run the country. And it'll be my face. If anybody has a problem with it, they can talk to me or make fun of me or do whatever they want. Because I'll be too busy fucking their mother to even care. While I'm making Joe Biden just solve everything.
Well, I feel like we should be looking forward to a little more. You know, he did his thing. Done.
And he's going to keep doing it, but this time everybody's going to think I'm the one doing it. And so the world's going to go fine, because I can't run a country for shit. Nobody can run a country except for Joe Biden. He's so good at running a country, he can do it in his sleep.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
When I was
But he's got some really weak areas that
hey now
undermine a lot of it.
Hey man, don't kill the buzz, man. Everybody here is just trying to get their Joe on, dude.
I just don't think we should be buzzed.
What do you mean?
What's the point in being buzzed? We're on a mission. We can't celebrate things that haven't earned it. We can give him credit where it's due, but this dude just didn't save us. And we needed to be saved.
We need to be saved. That's it. Breaking news, America. You're all a bunch of babies. You need to be saved. You need your mother. He did everything. For me, I've lived a very debaucherous life. There's a lot of people that want nothing to do with me. A lot of people from this show and old shows. I think anybody after they go through my show just doesn't want to talk to me anymore. But what I did when I was drinking, doing drugs, fucking anything that walked, I followed the words of Joe Biden. And in a moment like this, we could too. What would Joe Biden say right now? Oh, Joe, what the fuck? It's muted. These computers.
Well, I know I'm not a young man.
Yes. Have you heard this?
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I'll get to the good stuff. I'll get to the climax. You ready to get your Joe on?
I don't.
Oh man, my Wi-Fi.
As I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job.
Here we go.
I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
That was it, Ethan. When we get knocked down, we get back up. And that's what I'm hearing him now say.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing. We get back up. I'm getting my Joe on, and we're moving forward. I now, with a little bit more dignity, am sitting in this chair talking to the internet.
Yep.
And you know what? I've been kind of questioning. Sometimes I want to kind of become a metaverse Taliban, and I want to hurt the internet.
How?
I don't know, man. But just the internet drives me nuts. I was thinking, I did have some plans of just having a vigilante, have Red, White, and Chill be like an Instagram vigilante group where we kind of just, so far, been policing the Biden comments where when people start ripping on him, I rip them back. And I'm telling you, I know how to troll Trumpers now. I figured out the secret sauce. You don't swear, you don't cuss, you don't get on their level because then they use that against you. They're better at it. But you can't act like a bitch either.
Yep.
So, for example, I had one example where I told some guy, he said something. I said, I refrained from the R word. I said, you're a frontal lobe missing loafer, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I looked at my account and said, Charlie, you look homeless. And I would tell him something like, don't worry about it. Your mom lets me sleep over every night. You should just call me Dad. Clean, beautiful, never heard a response. I'm doing this everywhere. And I'm thinking I'd just be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a kid and this is my new version of Neopets. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how this works. Apparently people just say go podcast, so I'm doing that. I'm just making a fuss. There is something that I got an email for because I did the postcards for letter people. And they're having a Zoom meeting on Thursday where they want to share their takeaways about the November election results. And I don't know. I think I should. I already signed up for it. I don't know what to tell them. How do I explain to them that the reason why they lost is because I gave up podcasting? You didn't know that? Oh, I never told you my theory.
Yeah, well, I'm still taking that in. What do you mean?
So I used to have a show called the Boombox Ditty. Which was the Boombox Ditty happened during the pandemic. I was just getting so frustrated. I needed an outlet because Trump couldn't do his job, so none of us could live our lives. And so I made the Boombox Ditty, and it was actually pretty good. Like I got a little cult following in a sense, where it wasn't a large following, but a lot of devoted listeners. And they'd have discussion groups and talk about it afterwards. Usually the premise being, is Charlie an asshole?
Huh.
My theory is I stopped doing that show because everything went back to normal. I could live my life again. I didn't have a reason to do the show anymore. And
Man, those fucking 4 years blew by so fast for that reason.
It blew by, and so what I'm telling you is I'm convinced that America voted for Trump so I'd bring my show back.
Yeah, I think so, dude.
You've never heard about the... Damn, should I get... I don't even know if I can get 2 calls on this.
Bro, I mean, this is just life, man. Like, I can't sell fucking tickets to my show either. And
it's not you. It's Joe Biden.
It costs a lot of money. Like, that's the reality.
It's not your fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. Joe Biden's not selling those tickets for you, but Trump will.
Oh, no.
Trump's going to do it. Don't worry. Life's going to be good again.
My goodness. I mean, we haven't even talked about climate change. The fact that, like, if we don't do anything about that.
Oh, I already gave that up. That's gone. We're about to go through another mass extinction. Last time there was a big climate change, there's like 99% of the humans died. And that's about to happen again. And the oligarchs are going to be in power, and all the rich are going to survive, and we're all going to die. So I already
don't you think that, like, Biden should have been way more aggressive about that?
I mean, he was pretty aggressive. He was
more aggressive than anyone's ever been, but is that even getting close to the level that's appropriate? I don't think so.
Yeah, but again, he's the most accomplished. Like, we can all complain that he's not Jesus, but at the same time, he did more than anybody else has ever been able to accomplish. So it's like he made it look easy because he did it asleep. You know, I used to play in a band, and look, people don't understand how powerful Sleepy Joe is. I used to be in a band, and I was totally biffing it. And the guitarist told me, Charlie, you need to work on it with the metronome, without the song, to the song. You need to be able to play it in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Sonny Rollins at the Detroit Jazz Festival when he was 80 years old, and I watched him play the saxophone. He could play it in his sleep.
Yeah.
I saw Joe Biden sleeping on the debate stage, running the hell out of the country, out of the greatest empire known to man. He was doing it in his sleep. Like Sonny Rollins was playing the saxophone. Like my bandmates wanted me to play the drums. Joe Biden achieved it. Grandmaster.
Yeah, I mean, he's a master at his craft, no doubt.
But what I
It's
really...
just not the same. It's not we're not playing that game anymore as a society, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we're past climate change. We just got to accept it. Now it's about who gets to go on the boat, who gets on Noah's Ark. And right now, the rich just want to make the rich. I want it to, I don't know. I just want to be on it, whatever that takes. If I could...
think about that, though. Like, I agree with you, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't want to recognize, but, like, if climate change is inevitable and it's a question of who gets to go on Noah's Ark, and we've got an oligarchical system being constructed right in front of us, what is the answer?
Well, that's what it used to be. America. That's what I saw with Joe Biden, where America was a Noah's Ark. What was so good about it, it took the cream of the crop from every other country, and it was diverse. But all that put us together in common, as Joe Biden would tell us, is a belief that all people were created equal, and that vision that we can get to it if we work together. That was the Noah Ark, and it was the holiest on earth, and that's what made America rock. But now it's turning into America's no longer the power, and it's just going to be the rich. Unless Red, White, Chill pervases the land, perverts the minds of the fascists.
And turns them into what?
Well, let me ask you, what does Red, White, and Chill mean to you, Ethan?
Good question. I think it means just taking it's the answer to, like, if you feel like you're in a place where all the information that's coming to you is politicized. I feel like Red, White, and Chill should represent something that's not that, and just an open, honest, good faith discussion.
That's it. Let's ask someone else what Red, White, and Chill means.
What does Red, White, and Chill mean to me? Well, Red, White, and Chill means I get to fuck and suck on the host. And that's what Red, White, and Chill means to me. I get to chill with Charlie.
That's why you're doing this?
That's why. No, I don't know, man. See, that was the thing with the Boombox Diddy, man. I went in with girls and bitches and hoes, and I left with nothing. They all got mad because I had one of my co-hosts, which is a big controversy now because she was very popular, Vanessa. We were singers in a band together, but there's two singers, and I was fucking both of them. And it was all private because nobody wanted to get drama in the band. But I was also doing this podcast with one of them, and for one of my bits, I told her I was fucking the other singer.
Wow. That's brutal.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I follow Joe Biden, and I'm back to the ways of virtue and principle, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you were a savage.
Yeah, but now I want her back on the show, so I probably should stop talking about it. And then meanwhile, that was going on, and I was fucking this other girl. This was a girl I was like really in love with, and everybody who knows me from that time period knows about her. It's this Compton girl, and she would call me, and she was a little kooky in the head, and she'd get mad at me for whatever reason, and she'd get mad and be like, Charlie, why don't you just fuck April, which was the other girl. I probably shouldn't say their names because they're both pissed off at me. But she's like, why don't you just go fuck April? I was like, what? And she's like, I heard your show. You're just an Whoa. He just cut out on me. It was maybe too erotic. Ethan.
Got my phone and it hung up. I don't know how that happened.
Was it too erotic and sensual for you?
I had an orgasm and had to hang up, but now I'm back.
Okay, good, man. We don't want that shit all over. We don't want.
You can't have that on the podcast, can you?
Wait, oh my! See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like I
was. Oh man.
That was a sound effect in my head.
That's what I'm saying.
Played it out loud.
That's why I have an idea. I want this guy, so he's helping me with all the media and shit. I kind of here. Can you hold on? I want to see if I can call and merge the calls.
Sure.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm still on the show, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't figure out this phone. I'm thinking about going to a flip phone.
What kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone 15.
Maybe just switch to like a better phone.
No, every time it gets better, it's harder to use.
Samsung is good.
I'm thinking about just keeping the iPhone and taking out the phone stuff, and so I can use it as a walking computer whenever there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know because I forgot what I even tell Alexis. I think I'll talk to him another time. But pretty much, I was maybe going to ask him to do some kind of keyboards with the sound effects. Because if I can have somebody doing all that kind of media shit, doing that, and then, yeah, I think that'll be good. Because this is like way too much for me. Because I don't know. I got this board.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I got a Rodecaster Pro used, and one of the things is there's 4 headphone jacks, but only one of them works. And I was bumming out about that, but then I found this. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much. And somebody told me that I should keep it like an hour, like 45. Wait, what? Warning, please. I got a warning.
From what?
I don't know. It just says warning, please. Oh, Lord. Man, this got to be Elon Musk already on me. I got a view. Or is that just me? No, it's not me.
What was the warning for?
Are you watching me? Who's watching me right now? I don't know. It doesn't say the full message.
Strange.
You got.
Maybe if you mentioned the Taliban.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I got What about Kanye, Charlie? Is he cool? Oh, warning! I got some comments. That's not a warning, dude.
What about Kanye? That's a good topic.
Oh man, what about Kanye? I wanted to ask you about who's this fucking Luigi Italian dude that everybody's worshiping now.
He is somebody that got mistaken for a serious revolutionary.
Where really he was
just a really crazy fucking kid who was really upset about a valid thing and threw his life away instead of working towards it.
Wait, so what did people think he was? That's what I thought. We all knew that the moment he shot a dude.
Yeah, it's open to interpretation. For sure. I just think that, like, I don't know. We don't know anything. Like, we don't know if he even had a manifesto or whatever. Like, I think the Unabomber's manifesto is sort of like what he is focused on. Like, he agrees with that. And it turned him into somebody who was going to justify his rage with something that appeared to be a revolutionary act. And he hit the wrong guy.
It was just a total man. See that, and that's another thing with Trump, man. It just attracts all these craziness to go out and do all these crazy things.
Yeah, nobody's immune. That's something I wanted to touch on earlier. Is that there's nobody who is immune to the impact of culture and advertising. Nobody, not you or me or anyone else. Like, we're all molded by the culture that we inhabit, and that a big part of that is the information that we consume and how we do that. And so this kid, like, natural thought process for someone his age, which is like, oh, I can do something insane and get an immediate result. If I think my life is going to go nowhere, I'm an adult now, and I feel like I'm going to be a loser, so let me just do this. And that's why I was saying earlier that this is the type of thing that happens when things get too expensive and the political apparatus doesn't offer any relief. You start to see things like this, and then you see that the public sentiment has largely been supportive of this kid.
And the reason for that is because they don't feel that there's any other political avenue to solve that problem, and that they think it's therefore justified. And in the Arab Spring, we saw the exact same thing happen. So we've got plenty of information to know where this leads. So the question is this political machine that the right has constructed on social media powerful enough to convince us that people like Luigi are just heartless monsters, rather than just completely disaffected individuals? And I think that it's the latter. I think he was just a completely disaffected individual and not really a total monster. I think that's the case for a lot of people who do crazy shit.
That's why, again, America, this is it right here in front of your eyes. I'm going to go on that postcards for swing states. I'm going to tell them, I'm your answer. It's all about red, white, and chill. And they're going to ask me, Charlie, red, white, and chill, what does that mean? And
red, white, and chill means to me, I will not take no for an answer, and nothing will get in the way of my dreams. When someone says I have no qualification to be on a podcast, I still manage to suck and fuck my way on. Now I told you what red, white, and chill means to me. What does it mean to you?
Maybe I shouldn't play that on the Zoom call about politics. Maybe they'll totally, but that's what they need. That's what the left needs, man. They need that. They need a little bit more sexiness. Are you still jerking off? Okay, well, I'm just gonna say Ethan's gone for now, or unless I don't have him mute. No. Let me get Ethan. What's going on, man?
I don't know what the mute button is doing, man. I'm sorry.
You muted yourself?
Yeah.
Well,
it keeps fucking slipping itself.
It keeps slipping in itself?
Yeah, my screen is a little fucked because I just dropped my phone. It's okay.
They gonna come talk to me about shit. Best believe.
Oh Lord, man! I just got when I click one soundbite, it's on iTunes and it just goes through all of them.
So, I like it.
It's fucking yeah, no. So you missed it. I got this girl Venus. She's gonna be on the show when we can get her. She became She became a huge star by the time we started. But she told me this to welcome me.
Charlie, I understand you're making this podcast for your country that you love so much. I'd like to be of service to your nation with my talent and skills of fucking. Hi, my name is Venus, and I'm here because I love to fuck. I want to thank you.
Okay, no. It gets a little too self-serving after that, where she just starts talking about how she's naked.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I play that all the time, and I feel like if someone's actually trying to get in the show and hears that over and over again, they're probably going to get annoyed, but I can't hear it enough. Yeah, so this is all I can think of, man. I'm just going to keep getting in front of this computer screen, keep making it better, keep finding people to call, because that's what I feel like, man. It's just like jail, man. When you're sitting in a jail cell and you got nothing, you just got a phone sometimes, right? So I'm just in here. I just got a phone, so I'm just here because America has taken me hostage, because I want to be on Noah's Ark. And so I'm trying to rewrite who gets on it, and I'm going to just say America does. And that's another thing. I guess the left, you socialists don't like, I don't even know. Apparently no one likes America. Apparently I'm the only one in the world who loves America. Me and Joe Biden. So I'm going to... I think it's because it's kind of game there. I'm being a little too polite right now. I think I'm going to start wrapping it up, Ethan. Unless, I mean, I think I got a lot of my answers or my questions answered. Was there anything else you wanted to shout out? You want to shout out your show?
Yo, sorry, man. Yeah, I just have to stop my dog from eating my cat's food. But yeah, I definitely would love to shout out the show. Sorry, I've been a little bit scattered since I dropped my phone like 5 minutes ago.
Here, wait,
But yeah, dude.
hold that thought 1 second.
If I'm going out on a first date, my first thought isn't throw some KY jelly in the truck. If I know that this girl is a sure thing, I'm going to throw some KY jelly in the truck.
I think if I just mix that in, I'm going to get all the Trumpers to listen to me.
Yeah.
We're going to have this serious conversation and then KY jelly.
Yep.
Okay, so you said you have a show at the Viper?
At the Viper Room, 10 p.m. this Saturday, December 14th. It's a tribute to Queens of the Stone Age, and the band takes that shit really seriously. Like, we really put in a crazy amount of work for a year since Queen started touring for The End is Nero, and we've done a ton of work trying to just replicate that soundscape because it was just freaking awesome. We really love the experience of going to that show, and we want to bring a slice of that to everybody. And we want to meet more fans like who just were as into that tour as we are. And so if that sounds like your deal and you love Queen, head over to Viper Room on Saturday, 10 p.m.
That sounds great. And I'm sure it's going to be a great show. I'm going to be there checking it out. And I believe that once I see it, I'm going to be satisfied to the point. Have you seen Nacho Libre?
Yeah, I love that movie.
What's that skinny dude's name?
I don't remember. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
I'm going to pull him. I'm going to get on a scooter and run over Josh Holmes' foot and be like, hey, I'm sorry about that, but this guy knows all your songs. Okay, well, thanks for having your input. I need some people to come and have some intelligent thought, because otherwise I'm just yelling at people. Oh.
Yeah, man. Put me in a debate. Or if you get somebody who says something different than what I just said.
Yeah, well, my biggest debate, I kind of prefaced it, this whole show, is my debate. I'm not here to argue policies with people and this and that and stuff that's just fact that you can look up if you know how to read. My argument with the American people right now is they're too dumb to trust their instincts. They're too dumb to trust their own decision-making process. And they should listen to me to tell them who to listen to.
Well, it's not necessary. I just think it's a sociological discussion we're having about you're saying, people shouldn't have to tune into a podcast, but we're in that situation, you're saying.
Yeah, it's how America gets their information now. Unfortunately, America doesn't know how to read. America used to be very smart. They used to read a lot.
Yeah.
Now we don't read a lot. And you have to listen to Los Angeles drummers get on a show and yell about KY jelly and then get someone smart to. It's just all brainwash, man. I'm just here to brainwash everybody. I'm just here to brainwash everybody, man. I'm here to brainwash America. Make them more American. Make them red, white, and chill.
We're all brainwashing each other, and wherever we land is somewhere in the middle. And so we all got to do our part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna check in with maybe someone else before I call it, just because someone told me it. Yeah, I'll see, but I'm gonna let you go just because it's already getting long, and people tell me it's too long already.
All right.
Okay. Bye, Ethan. Thanks for calling in, and I'll be back on at noon. I'm gonna have somebody from Pennsylvania, West Russia, critique the show because he actually listens to podcasts.
Nice.
Okay, but I'll see you, Ethan.
All right, later, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. Am I awkward? I can never end a phone call. Should I even call Alexis? Are you still there? I feel like I already... No, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it, everybody. I don't know how I'm going to cut this up. I don't know how I'm going to put it on. I don't know how I'm doing anything right now. I'm just getting here and I'm doing it. Oh, shit. Oh, that is sick. I did not know I had that button. I know. Actually, let me play with these real quick. Well, actually, I shouldn't, but I don't even know how to work this. channels, advanced podcast information. Oh, wait. 1 second, America. I mean, the show's over. No, I'm just playing with the soundboard. I just don't know how. Ooh, wait a minute. How do I? God damn it. Oh, here we go. These are just songs.
Are you the guys on the beach who hate everything?
What the fuck is that?
Are you the guy?
Oh, it's from a song. Boring.
Noise. One.
What the fuck? Who owned this? Who owned this before me? Okay, man. Well, now I see how the sound banks works. Okay. Oh, that's a harp? That's so cool. What the fuck? Okay, I'm out. I can't use this anymore. Okay, everybody. I guess the new song of choice is Aunt Betsy. That's my song. Thon. I got a lisp. I fucking hate this, man. I fucking hate this podcast. I didn't know I had a lisp until I made a podcast. Okay. But we're going to fix it, America. I should have never stopped making one.
Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. When I die, oh, when I die. Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. Oh, when I die, oh, when I die. Well, I'm going to see Aunt Betsy when I die. Oh, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Well, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Well, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Well, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Oh, when I die, oh, when I die. Well, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Oh, when I die, oh, when I die. Well, I'm going to talk to Jesus when I die. Know that there'll be church on Sunday when I die. Oh, well, there'll be church on Sunday when I die. Oh, well, there'll be church on Sunday when I die. Oh, well, there'll be church on Sunday when I die. Oh, when I die, oh, when I die. Well, there'll be church on Sunday when I die. When I die, oh, when I die. There'll be church on Sunday